Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and fellow humans. Welcome back to Stranded Survivors. My name is Matt, and I am your co-host today. It is Jericho's birthday, so he has earned the day off. Those of you that are on our Discord, or if you're not yet, join it, so that way you can go ahead at Jericho. He is Suspector, I think his name on the Discord is. Go ahead and at him, and let him know, happy birthday. We appreciate you guys tuning in. So, it's been a minute. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. It's been like a month since we put out an episode, and I want to apologize for that. For those of you that have been here for that month waiting for us, thank you, first off, for waiting for us. And second off, I'm sorry that it's been a minute. To be honest with you, things got real busy for work. I work in real estate now, and it is move-out season, so lots and lots of hours, lots of stress and pressure going on there. I'm also taking college classes, so, as midterms all the way up to finals was real hectic, managing to balance everything out. Rocked that 4.0 out because I'm a turbo nerd, heck yeah. And then I went on vacation, went to Lambeau Field to go see the Packers, hang out with my sister in Green Bay, and, just chill out for a little bit. Then Jericho went on vacation. Now it's his birthday, so we're gonna reconvene here. We're gonna get back on schedule, I promise. But this week, I want to do something different. I am going completely rogue. I'm sure you guys noticed the change in the theme music here, the introduction music. That's because I'm going completely rogue. I would like to expand the game library for the blah, 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 blah. I would like to expand the game library for the Stranded Survivors community. I know a bunch of you play 7 Days to Die that are already on the Discord. Myself and Joe Daddy being one of them. Jericho does not, and that's okay. He is our Ark expert. But I would kind of like to pitch to you guys the idea of a more broad survival podcast rather than just an Ark podcast. I'm not saying we're going to abandon Ark. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying I'm going rogue. I'm making the decisions this week, and we're talking about zombies, yo. So, buckle up. Here we go. You guys are about to learn a new game. Okay, so 7 Days to Die. This is a zombie horror survival RPG made by Telltale Games. I think maybe it's the Fun Pimps now. I don't know. There was a big old legal battle, and they were arguing for a long time. This game was in alpha for like 6 or 7 years or something ridiculous like that. On the consoles, it got completely abandoned. They basically got into this big old legal argument over who had the rights to the property, the intellectual property, and it resulted in no updates for the Xbox and PlayStation community for since Vietnam, it feels like. Now, we watched the PC community get update after update after update. We were stuck on version 16, Alpha 16, for ever, and the PC community was on Alpha 20. Now, 4 updates doesn't necessarily, it is a lot, and it sounds like a lot to me, but to some people that might not sound like a whole lot. But that's the difference between fighting with a stone axe and getting a metal flaming spear. And it's the difference between having to use torches and having electricity. It's a massive difference as far as gameplay goes, but we'll get into that in future episodes. Possibly. Stay tuned. We'll see. So, this game, like I said, developed by Telltale Games, I want to say now. No, Fun Pimps. I'm going Fun Pimps. It's the Fun Pimps. Anyway, I digress. This is a zombie game, okay? Now, it is not just your standard zombie game where, Call of Duty, Nazi zombies, where they're throwing wave after wave after you, and each wave gets a little bit tougher. We're breaking away from that. That's boring, okay? This game has a very strong crafting feel to it. So as soon as you start, just like Ark, you're getting dropped down in this weird, it could be any biome, this weird environment. There's the forest, there's a desert, a prairie area, a tundra, I can't remember what else I've named. There's a burnout area where everything's on fire. There's a blast out zone that looks like bombs had broken everything into destroyed rubble. There's all sorts of different biomes, okay? And you're starting off, believe it or not, just like Ark, in your underpants with nothing. You gotta punch the grass, pick up some rocks, punch some trees, standard survival crafting game. Get yourself some fancy little supplies here, and you can start to craft things. You can get a stone axe to help you chop down things, just like a hatchet and stuff like that in Ark. So there's a lot of crossover there for the crafting. But the difference in the kicker is that instead of dinosaurs everywhere, there's zombies, obviously, right? These zombies are they're more prevalent in some areas. As you get closer to the cities, there's more of them. As you get closer to the tundra, there's different types. You get lumberjack zombies that have extra strength. In the cities, you get bikers that have helmets. Towards military camps, you get ones that are wearing bulletproof vests and helmets that are a little more beefy. There's all sorts of different types of zombies. And there are special zombies too. I feel like I should mention that at this point, where they have a police officer zombie that is this big old bloated thing that'll chase you down, and it shoots this acidic puke at you that will melt and destroy your base. They've got these giant creepy feral alien things that are they're just extra spooky. They remind me of the I Am Legend vampires. Gee whiz, man. Being put in the spot, I can't think of it off the top of my head. But there's a handful of other ones, like spider zombies, crawler ones. They've got vultures, things like that. These zombies are just wandering around aimlessly doing their thing. It's a randomly generated map, or it's a pre-designed map. So you've got control there where you can mix it up and not play in the same map every single time. Multiplayer capability, it's all these cool things, right? But the kicker, every 7 days, get it, 7 days to die, on the 7th day, so every multiple, 7, 14, 21, 28, unless you change a setting to change the variance of it, but every 7 days, you get a blood moon. It literally, the day starts off with the sky is all red and sketchy, and then at night, the moon is a very bright blood red. It's a full moon, and on those nights, the zombies, they know exactly where you are at all given times, and they will hunt you mercilessly until the sun comes up. They're all sprinting at full speed, like World War Z style. They will break through whatever you have in the way. If you're in your base, they're going to bust down the walls trying to get to you. If you're down in your mine, they're going to punch through the ground to try to get to you. There's all sorts of different, wherever you are, they will find you and they will try to kill you. So on the beginning of the 7th day, everyone's got to stock up with their medical supplies, your guns, your ammunition, your bows and arrows, fix your armor, all that stuff. It's chaotic, to be honest with you, and this is where the fun begins, because you don't want to fight the horde in your own base, right? Obviously, picture it in terms of Ark. Are you going to sit in next to your fabricator and next to your smithy and all your tech storage and stuff like that? If you're getting dozens of Rexes and a couple Gigas and let's say wyverns and random crap like that dive bombing your base and coming in a nonstop frenzy for a total of probably 20 straight minutes, you're not going to hang out there, right? So Steven, Joe Daddy in the Discord, him and I built a base on our server that's 100 feet away from our main base, but it's where we hang out on day 7. And it has these fallback hatches where you can put up the metal hatches that they stand up from the ground, and it's about waist high. We create a wall of that, and we'll stand on the other side of it. He has a stun baton, so it's literally like a police baton that's charged with a taser, and he's just sitting there beating the crap out of the zombies as they come. He stuns them. The electricity will bounce from zombie to zombie, so he's launching them everywhere. My dude uses pistols and knives, so I'm trying to line them up. I'm dropping them with an SMG and with my pistol, and then I'm just sitting there stabbing at them as best I can with a hunting knife and a machete, and it's pure chaos. And as the zombies beat down those metal hatches, we fall back to the next level, drop up the next hatches, and if those get overrun, we have an electrical system that has these spinning blade traps. Yeah, that's right, spinning blade traps, like you would picture, in a Dungeons and Dragons game. You're exploring a dungeon or playing Skyrim or something like that, and you step on the little pads and the little helicopter blades come out of the ground and chop your legs off. Yeah, we got those things hanging from the ceilings, and you just crouch down, go to the back of it, turn the generator on, and as the zombies are running up, this ceiling fan of death is just chopping them up. It's pure chaos, man. It's a lot of fun. So the Horde Nights, the whole process of it is just pure craziness. It very similarly to 7 Days to Die, or blah, 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 very similarly to Ark, you're seeing a whole wide variety of weapons. So no matter how you prefer to fight, there's something for you. There's batons, there's sledgehammers, baseball bats, clubs, spears, swords, knives, shotguns, pistols, sniper rifles. I'm pretty sure there's a flamethrower and a chainsaw. Like, if you can think of it as a weapon, it probably can be done in some way, shape, or form, or something parallel to it. So there's a whole lot of room for roleplay as far as your weapons go. And that comes into effect with the skill tree system. I'm getting real excited here. Blah! So the skill tree system has been revamped, okay? It used to be like pretty basic where, there was just a handful of perks and most of them revolved around you had to like spend, in Ark terms, you had to spend your engram points to unlock recipes like a workbench, a chemistry bench, stuff like that. Now they've changed it. So you have perception, strength, fortitude, agility, intellect. These are your main skills, okay? For perception, that's how aware you are of everything. All right, my D&D nerds, this is going to be an easy translation for you, right? Your perception is how aware you are. Are you going to be able to loot things well? Finding treasure chests, how easily can you find it and how much crap is going to be in there? When you're salvaging a broken down car, how many materials will you get? Can you track an animal and hunt it? Like, there are perks that will literally it'll highlight the footprints of the mountain lions, the bears, the deer, boars, wolves, coyotes. These are all creatures walking around, snakes, rabbits, chickens, and like these are perks that you can get in the perception tree that will help improve it. And I can talk about that in a whole episode later. Like, we can have a whole skill tree episode. I can get all excited about that. The next one is strength, okay? Strength is pretty straightforward. Again, D&D nerds, you know what's going on, but your strength is how muscular and strong you are, okay? That's helping with your shotguns, your clubs, your sledgehammers, and like tools, okay? When I say tools, I mean your pickaxes, your fire axes, hatchets, things like that. In the strength category, you're seeing things like skull crushers, which helps you hit harder with a sledgehammer. You're seeing big and fast, which lets you swing the sledgehammer faster. It helps you with heavy armor, the pack mule perk, which is how you unlock, like, so you're not so encumbered. It gives you more inventory spaces. Instead of, in Ark, we have the weight system where, I picked up 100 stone at 100 pounds, therefore I have 40 pounds remaining. The 7 Days to Die system is a numeric inventory system. So on this character, I've maxed my strength out already, so I've got the full, math is hard, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, is that 50? Wow, I didn't realize I had 50 spaces. So I can hold 50 stacks of items. It doesn't matter how heavy they are. It can be 50 stacks of 6,000 stone. I can hold 50 individual stacks. With a lower strength score that is lower, you can craft modifications for your armor that give you more quote-unquote pockets that unlock these things for you. And if you don't want to invest in the strength skill tree, that's totally okay. You're gonna just get encumbrance penalties. You can still use all 50 of those slots, but your stamina is going to drain like a mofo, and you're going to get tired quick. The neat part about this game is the hyper-focus on realism and survival. So when I say you're going to get exhausted, like if you over-encumber yourself, you're running around, and then all of a sudden, oh crap, there's a mini horde of zombies, and I'm fighting off 15 to 20 of them with my sledgehammer or a knife or something, you're going to get exhausted. Your maximum stamina will go down. So whereas, let's say, my stamina's at 100 as a normal base, or 150, whatever it is, now it's dropping 20%, whatever. So my maximum stamina will be 80, which means I can swing 20% less, defend myself less, and when you run out of stamina, you got to sit there and wait for it, and that's how you die. So it really screws you up. And then there's you got to take vitamins, you got to take antibiotics. There are to counter infections, to get rid of these exhaustion things. You have to put a cast on your leg if a zombie hits you hard enough to break your leg or if you fall off of something. So if you picture Ark combined with DayZ, all these elements of all these fantastic, really well-known survival games are really on full display in this game. I get really excited about it in case you can't tell. There's even a master chef perk, like a whole skill designed to being a master chef. Helps you make more things, like it takes less ingredients to make things. You can cook faster. You can find food in dumpsters and stuff like that. The construction perks, Miner 69er, giggity giggity goo, that helps take less stamina on your attacks. So if I'm using a pickaxe to go down in my mine, because just like I've been asking for in Ark, you can dig underground. You can go down like negative 72 blocks or something like that. And while you're digging, you can find literal veins. So there's like iron veins, coal, there's oil shale, lead that you can use to craft your own bullets and things like that. Like there's a crap ton of elements that you can find buried in the earth, and you can even find silver, gold, and diamonds that you can then take to the traders to sell for large amounts of these like casino tokens, which is the main currency of the game. Then you can use those casino tokens to purchase things back from those traders. There's like modifications to help you. I just got one the other day. Steven got it for me, actually. It allows you to drink murky water. So I put it on my helmet, and now I can go up and I can drink straight out of a lake, straight out of a river. Oh, nuts. I wish I looked it up beforehand because I had this joke all planned out. But somebody in the Discord, I don't remember if it was Dodo King or, one of my fellow Michiganders, made a joke about always having dysentery. Get that water purification mod, my man, because you don't get dysentery drinking out of murky sources anymore. And I don't have to carry water with me. So I'll still carry, like yucca juice because it gives you the 30% reduced stamina. And see, there's a whole bunch of recipes, guys. Like, long story short, you got to go like harvest cactuses and squish the fruit down into some purified water, cook it on a campfire, and it like gives you all these cool bonuses. So those of you that were into the custom recipes that Jericho and I talked about in Ark would probably be a pretty big fan of the cooking and crafting system in 7 Days to Die. All right, moving on, we got the fortitude skill set. That is, your health. It's how resilient you are. Do you get sick? How quickly are you going to get an infection if you get hit? Will your legs break? How much damage do you take? How hungry do you get? What's your stamina like? These are all skills that are determined by your fortitude. So is your hunting, actually, believe it or not. That's in there tied with perception and fortitude both. Agility, that's a big one. That helps with like your archery. It helps with pistols, knives, things like that. There are stealth perks that you can add for agility. And like, if you're not catching my drift here, the builds, we've already talked about 4 distinct builds. The perception build, somebody who sees all, knows all, and can hunt all. The strength build, somebody that will make everything explode and can hold all the things and break all the things. Fortitude, a tank. Agility, a ninja, assassin, rogue. Then we got intellect. This is the build that Joe Daddy is playing. This is a super underrated and underappreciated build by a lot of people because it doesn't do much as far as early game fighting. We're like 22, 23 days into it, and he's just now getting to the stun batons and the things that are like, no offense, Steven, but quote unquote useful. For the first like 20 days, it's all just dumping points into these skills and looking for books to level up these skills because you got to read magazines and books. Kind of like in Skyrim, you read individual books and it gives you like a singular level. In this game, they've got magazines everywhere that you can loot, and each magazine you read will raise the level by 1, and once you get up to 100, you're maxed out. You can make the best of the best. You had to get up to like 25, 30 in all these skills that he needed. So he's over here learning how to wire things. He's over here learning how to make traps and make vehicles and all these different things that don't necessarily do anything as far as combat. So he's got like half the zombie kills in our map that I do. However, he has all of the construction. The whole base is all him. The whole horde trap is all him. Like, he is the utility savior, the artificer of the group if you play D&D. This allows you to be influential talking to traders. You can be more like better bartering, things like that. It helps you as a better doctor. It helps you as a mechanic, an engineer, robotics. He's able to calculate things. Like there's an automated sledgehammer trap he can make. So you put spike traps on the walls, and then you put like a sensor, so as the zombies run by, you get literally an automated sledgehammer that just cracks them, and then they get stuck on the spike trap on the wall and then fall all the way down to the ground, and then rinse and repeat. So like, he's making these traps that basically will keep us safe for us. I mean, for crying out loud, he's got security cameras he's about to set up for our base. It's crazy. Then you got all the perk books. There are individual books that you have to find, and I don't mean like the random magazines that each one you read is one level. There are 7 specific volumes of, for conversation, there are, let's pick a good one. The Art of Mining. So the Art of Mining is, you're going to mine a lot in this game, okay? You need a lot of stone, you're going to need a lot of ore, and all the things you need in the ground. So there are 7 individual volumes of this book. I hit the wrong button and closed it. Boo! Okay, the first one, Volume 1, adds a small chance to mine rare gems from ore, so that's how you unlock the ability to get silver, gold, and diamonds to trade. Book 2, you can craft a diamond tip blade mod for tools that dramatically increases durability. Book 3, you harvest 10% more when you're buzzed from coffee. Amen, me too, brother. But like, if you catch my drift, each of the 7 have a different thing, and you have to find each of the 7. This game, for my RuneScape nerds, we're doing a lot of crossover references here, huh? Try to follow along, folks. I'm losing myself here, so I feel you. Anyway, for my RuneScape nerds, there is I don't know where I was going with that. Wah, wah, wah. Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, sorry folks. I've had a lot of espresso tonight. It's been a long day at work, so I downed like way too much espresso to keep up with the whole thing tonight, so I'm sorry. Follow along here. So, RuneScape nerds, it's a random number generated game. If anybody has ever played a random number generated game, Skyrim is not RNG because you know if you go loot this chest in this room, it's going to have this loot in it at all times. This is a game that rolls on a table. So if I search a bag of trash on the ground, there's an X% chance that it has nothing in it. There's an X% chance that it has 3 pieces of paper. And there is a mini percent chance that it's going to have a book in it. Out of that percent chance to have a book, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's like 12 or 15 different categories. No, there's multiple pages. There's a lot of different categories that it could be, and then each one has 7 different books. So for conversation, if there is a 5% chance that you're going to find a book, and there are, I'm going to say 20 different books, and then each of those have 7. 20 times 7, math is really hard. That's 140. Wow, that was quick. Go, Matt. Okay, so there's like 140 possibilities there divided up into 5%. So you have a very, very mini percent chance at that rate to find the specific book you need. So, like, I really want, just because I'm a coffee drinker, I want the Art of Mining Book 4 because you can craft Blackstrap, a super strong coffee, and that sounds cool. But I can't craft it because I haven't found that book. So now I'm getting repeats. You will get repeats. I've found like 7 volume 1s, and they don't do you any good. They just give you experience after that. But I haven't found any book 4s. So lots of random number generation, which I'm not a gambler, but I do love me some RNG. It adds just a little bit of, slot machine surprise to everything. So each house that you go into, like points of interest in this game, first off, can't believe I missed that. There's like 100 plus points of interest in this game, and each one has a name. So you can like mark it on your map, make these little like points of interest area, and you know for a fact if you have searched it because each one, like I said, is named. You go into Deersville, I'm going to call it Deersville because that's fun. You go into Deersville and you walk up to the Peterson's house, okay? The Peterson's house could be a 1-star, which means it's not, or a 1 skull. It's not going to have the greatest loot in it. But if you walk up to the Deersville Hospital, that has 5.5 stars in it because it's going to have a lot of really good stuff in it. It's going to have a lot of high-tier loot, but it's also going to come with a lot of danger. You're going to see a lot of special infected. You're going to see a lot of like radiated zombies. There's like these creepy ones that glow in the dark green, and they're just bad news bears. They're extra spooky and hard to kill, okay? You're going to see all sorts of stuff like that. The screamers, they're extra sketchy. It's this girl that's just like, bah! And a whole bunch of zombies come after you. And 2 out of, sorry, headphone users, that was probably super obnoxious. But 2 out of 10 would not recommend. But the points of interest, again, super easy to specialize to what you want to do. If you wanted to get into the role-playing of it, there is a commando outfit. You could take the assault rifle and heavy armor and like all these perks, and you could turn yourself into a Call of Duty soldier. You can craft the assassin outfit and do all of the agility stuff, and that's what I have on the one with Steven and I. I'm super, super stealthy. Basically, as long as I'm crouching, I'm pretty much invisible, and I can just walk through the houses, and I stab all the zombies right in the face while they're not paying attention. So, like, I can completely clear a house, and that's great for my playstyle. But, that being said, it's not necessarily the most beneficial for me to go loot Shotgun Messiah, because I'm not shooting shotguns. That's not my playstyle. My guy's not good at that. I will still go loot it for the team because that's stuff that on Horde Night's going to be useful for everybody. So I'm a team player. I'm going to do it anyway. But if you are playing solo, or if you're hyper specialized, or, you know, you're just not really about that life of trying to get things that you're not going to use, that's totally okay. No shame there. But you're able to customize how you loot to that. So I can go mark all of the working stiff tools because that's going to have all of the engineering stuff in it. So if Steven says, oh man, I really need to get wiring 101, I need to get 3 more wiring magazines, I can say, oh sweet, here's 2 coordinates to working stiff tools that have the loot regenerated. Go ahead and check those out. You're able to get a whole lot of specialization and customization, which is great for role-playing. You know that I'm big into role-playing games, and honestly, that's part of the fun of it, is to get an entire community. Like, I've played on a couple online servers. Unfortunately, they get really toxic really quickly, but it comes with the territory. It's a pre-release game, and I feel like Ark was super toxic at that point too. It probably has gotten better, because I see a lot of looking for game posts that people are including people in, but like, it used to be basically, you know, you join up on somebody else's server and you figure out how to sabotage their base, or you figure out how to like build across from them and you can start a war with them. And there's a lot of easy PvP and raiding each other and stuff like that. Like, it's a game that is super, super fun for PvP. And that's coming from somebody who absolutely hates PvP. And this is a game where, to be completely honest with you, I could probably get wiped once a week and I would find it funny. Which is surprising to me because that type of stuff really triggers me. But like, this game is easy to continue from. It's easy to rebuild from. And to be honest with you, I've seen Steven be completely successful in this game without even having a base. We did a multiplayer server one time and we did PvP on it. And I'm over here like, I dug down inside of a rock. I found a giant rock and I hollowed out the dead center of it and then dug underground, and I made an underground base in the middle of a rock. And then I built like stone blocks that I put above me to fill in that rock. And from the outside, like, I even covered the top layer with dirt and everything. From the outside, there was no possible way to know that there was anything underground. You would have had to see me go in it in order to like find me. And I was proud of that. You know, I'm over here like, oh, no one's ever going to find me, blah, 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 blah. And Steven very pridefully was kicking butt. And what he was doing was literally just walking around and looting until he got an inventory good enough to fight with. And then he would just go mess up somebody's day and get what he wanted from them. And totally viable playstyle, but he didn't even need a base. So like, there are so many different ways to go about this game, and the options make it significantly more fun than other games, in my opinion. Like, DayZ never did it for me, but the overall role-playing options available in 7 Days to Die just really make it so not only do you never have to play the same character twice, but you also don't have to play the same map twice. The random generated maps are literally just that. Like, you go into the random generated, it asks you to name a seed. You can go online and look up like, oh, I want the best seed that. I've seen island seeds where it's like a big ocean with a whole bunch of islands. I've seen seeds that are like lots and lots of animals everywhere. There's some that have lots of traders and like some that have like 7 bookstores right next to each other. And there's all sorts of different things that are people have already found and documented online, but you can literally make it whatever you want. Like, I will quite often, when I'm playing with multiple people, be like, hey, each of you give me a word. And before you know it, we have like the peppermint jelly cucumber roll or something like that. Like, we've got some very strangely named seed, and you never know what you're going to get. Like, it's frustrating and fascinating at the same time to be able to follow a main road and be like, oh, this is definitely a highway. I'm going to follow it into the town and loot it. And then all of a sudden the highway just comes to a complete dead end in the middle of the desert. And you're like, wait a minute, what? And they're like, all sorts of the random generated is totally crazy. It is just that. It is very random, and I love it for it. It's a feature, not a flaw. So the seeds are really cool. Never have to play the same character twice. Never have to play the same map twice. You can play online. Oh, goodness. How many people can you get on one server now? I think it might still be 4. I don't know. Let me quit and go back to the main menu here. But moral of the story, while I dilly-dally and get the menu to load up and the options to load up here, is that you can get multiple people on one server. It's not a whole bunch, so it's not like, we can get let's have the whole server jump on 7 Days to Die tonight, because it used to be only 4. It might be 6 now or something like that, but you can get a handful of friends. So I know that there's a couple other people in the Discord that play 7 Days to Die, and it would be pretty cool to get either a PvP server going or just a mass server going. Let's see. Yeah, 4. Yep, it looks like 4 players is the maximum. So up to 4 people per server, unless you host a dedicated server, then I'm sure it can be more at that point. I don't know what the max is on a dedicated server, but that's not even food for thought right now. We're not talking about that yet. So let's see. Let me look at my notes here, what I wanted to make sure to talk about. We've covered the fact that it was in pre-release forever. There's been a whole bunch of quality of life changes, but again, I'm not going to bore you guys with that right now. That can be a whole episode. The whole crafting system got overhauled. It used to be just kind of like an Ark. You'd have the durability, and as you got blueprints and stuff, it would get better and better. Well, as your levels went up in 7 Days to Die, it would get better and better. So if you had a level 100 crafting, you could craft I forget what the max used to be, 500, I think. A level 500 crossbow would be like the creme de la creme. Now it goes up to 6. You have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, 4, 5, and then if you get legendary parts, you can craft to tier 6. So I would basically equate that to, rather than having individual damage percentages, I mean, you will based on what mods you put on and what your skills are, but it would be like, the primitive version, the ramshackle version, the, so on and so forth. And then the tier 6 being the ascendant versions, obviously. But it's pretty cool. So that crafting system was completely overhauled. It's a lot more user-friendly, and now they finally gave you enough skill points that eventually you're going to hit level 300, and you'll be able to have every perk unlocked. So at first, it's a whole lot of differentiation between, this is my playstyle versus that's my playstyle. But at the end of the game, if you play long enough, and if you level up well enough, and you plan everything out, and you're strategic with your experience gains, you will eventually unlock every perk. So you're going to get the best of all the worlds, but, you get to pick for the time being. And I don't know about you guys, but I normally I don't play that long. I end up getting to a certain point where we're like, okay, we are basically gods walking around. We have super armor. We have super weapons. We have too much ammo. We've got a million traps. There's nothing to do and nothing can touch us. Like, at that point, we get bored and we usually delete the server and then we start over. We do a new random gen server at that point. But for the first server on the new game, because it's the first time we've played it since it's been re-released, just got re-released at the end of July, we're playing on, I don't know, Navasgane is more fun, so I'm going to call it that. But you're playing on that for now. We're getting used to the changes. I wanted to see what they did with the points of interest, and I'm happy so far. It's been very, very good. There are minimal bugs to work out, but, there are still bugs. It's what I love. It's a feature, not a flaw. So, gosh, the last thing I want to tell you, because this could be a kicker for a lot of people. I know there's somebody out there that's like, oh, I don't know, that sounds pretty cool, but I just need something more. Vehicles, okay? Last thing I'm going to rant about is vehicles. So in this game, it starts off, sure, I'm bummed out too. You can't get on a Pteranodon right off the bat, and you can't get a Quetzal to carry 5 million pounds of raw iron. But what you can do is start off with a bicycle, okay? As you read these vehicle magazines and you level up your vehicle skill, you're going to unlock a bicycle. Yeah, and it's cool, okay? It uses your stamina. There's like a sprint version and a non-sprint version, so you can help mitigate your stamina and your water and food consumption. And it's quiet, okay? It doesn't have the bright headlight, doesn't have an engine on it, it doesn't attract the zombies with the noise, which is a real thing. Light, heat, fire, and noise attract zombies in this game, so you got to be smart about that stuff. As you level up, you unlock a mini bike, which, a little baby dirt bike. It's pretty cool, a little noisy, a little faster. It takes a little bit of gas, but it's an upgrade, okay? It's got more storage. Then you get the motorcycle. The motorcycle is when you can start to put cool things on it, like, spikes and stuff like that, plows. Then you get a car. Then you get an off-road vehicle, like a 4x4 truck, and then you can put spikes on that, a plow on it. You can turn it into, like, a twisted metal death machine that you can just drive around and massacre hordes of zombies with, and that sounds amazing. We haven't gone that far yet, but it sounds fantastic. And then the creme de la creme, as you get your vehicle level high enough, you unlock a freaking gyrocopter, okay? Yeah, like in Far Cry. So it's literally a homemade, super sketchy, I would never touch it in real life with a 10-foot pole helicopter that you can fly across the map really fast. And it takes a really long time to get there. It's an end game type material. But dude, it is so fun. And okay, see, I'm over here ranting about it. I haven't used it. I've seen it used on TikTok. Looks absolutely so fun. Steven swears by it, says it's a blast. So I'm going to take his word for it. Super, super fun. And that's a game changer for me, okay? I enjoy dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs. I will talk anybody's ear off about my favorite dinosaur like I'm a 7-year-old. I don't care. But there is just something different about the apocalyptic realism in this game that's a refreshing breath of air for me, okay? Ark is fantastic. I love the game, but I get burnt out of it, and I find excuse A, B, C, and D to not get back into the grind. And 7 Days to Die is a parallel step. It is a different game. It's a totally different style, but it's got similarities and crossover enough to the point where it scratches the itch and it helps appease the burnout. Of course, it's a building game. It's a crafting game, so I'm going to get burnt out from it eventually. But guess what? It's just different enough that I can bounce right back to Ark. So it's wonderful to fill that gap for those times where you get burnt out. If you're somebody like me that I need to mix it up every now and then with everything in my life, whether it's what I'm drinking, what I'm eating, what game I'm playing, what shows I'm watching, even the types of music. I go from death metal one week to Skrillex the next. I'm broken, okay? So I need variation. And if you're like me in that sense, then this is a great way to do that. Now, I have ranted for almost 40 minutes about 7 Days to Die, a game that you guys didn't even sign up to learn about. And I really, really, really hope that you have made it this far and entertained me, because this is an amazing game. If you haven't heard of it yet and you haven't tried it yet, go look it up on TikTok, go look it up on YouTube, whatever streaming platforms you have access to. Go take a look at some gameplay from it. And if you're interested, maybe pick it up, okay? Right now, the crossplay features have not been enabled yet, but they swear they're going to do it. So they're supposed to be able to play PC, Xbox, and PlayStation crossplay, but it hasn't happened yet. So I'm not going to promise anything because, as we all know, plans change. Look at this game. It had its 6-year legal battle where there were no updates. So things change, so don't buy the game just on that sense. But if you have Xbox and you already have that game, or if you're interested in getting that game and you want somebody to help you learn it, Steven and I are super patient. We're great teachers, and we would love to help you learn the game. So you're welcome to join our servers. Go ahead and either send me a message on the Discord, either a direct message or at JoeDaddy or at a feller named Matt on the Discord in the general chat or other games section, and we can get together. We'll get an invite sent your way, and I can help you learn the ropes of the game, or Steven can. Either way. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Please head down to the poll and let me know if this is something that you guys are interested in hearing more about, okay? This was a rogue episode that Jericho really didn't have any input on. Sorry, Jericho. I really hope I didn't step on any toes here. But, like, if you guys are interested in expanding the game library, please indulge me, because it doesn't have to be every other episode. It doesn't even have to be, like, frequently. But every now and then, if it's cool, it would be great to mix it up with a new game, you know? Throw an episode or two about 7 Days to Die in there. Maybe throw an episode about Sons of the Forest in there or something like that. It would be good to add some variety, because as Stranded Survivors, we are all things survival and RPG. So we are here to help you survive whatever that game may be and whatever that realm may be. And I hope that this was useful in that sense. So again, if you'd like to play 7 Days to Die with me, feel free to send me a message. You are always welcome on my server. And until next time, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Bye.